Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the best focal length to use for your portrait. I know there are many photographers out there getting into the photography game, and most likely you are dabbling into portraits. And today we are going to be breaking down different focal lengths and which one is best to use for your portrait, and we're also going to be speaking about some full body shots. So we're going to be comparing different focal lengths all the way from 16 to 200. And you might be wondering, what exactly is focal length? If you look through your lens, if you look to your lens right here, I have the Canon 35mm. It's a prime lens. The number here, the 35mm, is the focal length. I'm keeping it as basic as possible so that anybody can follow through. I don't want to, go all technical. So whenever you look at any lens, the value is the focal length. So this is a 35mm f2 lens. So 35mm is the focal length. And here I also have 100mm prime lens. This is a macro lens. So the 100mm right here is the focal length. So same applies. So if you have your 15 to 55, I think that is your focal length, all the way from 15 to 55. That is the range at which your lens can take pictures. And if you have a prime lens, it's a fixed focal length. We are going to be looking at three factors. Number one is distortion. Simply put, the closer you are to your lens and the wider the angle of your lens, the fatter and the bigger your face is going to be and the more distorted it's going to be. And right now it's so not comfortable for you to watch this, I'm all in your face and all that. I'm sorry. Just trying to explain distortion. I hope you get the point. So the more distorted your face is going to be. If you're a slim person, it makes you look fat, and if you're a fat person, it makes you look even. And number two is walking distance. That is how close or how far you need to be from your subject to take your pictures and to get your perfect portrait. And let me give you a tip, guys. Photographers, you don't want to be in your model's face. Like, that is very uncomfortable. No. Move backwards a little bit. Give her space, or him, or it. You could be shooting animals. And number three, background compression. Background compression simply is how closer your background is to your subject whenever you're taking the picture. As you look at the pictures, you're going to understand more and more. That said, let's review some images. So if you look at this image, it was taken on a 16mm lens. If you look at the face, you realize it's very, very distorted. Like, her face has this very weird shape. She's a beautiful model, as you'll see in subsequent pictures, but this lens is not really doing it justice. And if you look at the background as well, the compression is not really there. You can see a lot going on in the background, and it's not very much compressed. It's so far behind her, and that's why you don't want to shoot a portrait with 16mm. You really don't want to do that. And here is a BTS image of how this picture was taken to show you the walking distance. Because it's an ultra wide angle lens, you actually can get really, really close to your subject. So I'm quite close. I don't know how many feet. Like, we don't do that in Nigeria. Do we measure in feet? I don't know how far it is in inches or meters. I didn't measure it. Just look at the image and you can take a guess. Moving on, this picture was taken with 35mm, and here you can immediately see that it looks a whole lot better. Number one, because of the distortion, like I mentioned. Ultra wide lenses distort the face more than other lenses. This was taken at 35mm, so it's gradually leaving that ultra wide range. It's still kind of wide, but not ultra wide. And you can see that her face is less distorted and there is more background compression. She was standing in the exact same position. I was only moving back and forth to compensate for the framing. 35 is good if you want to shoot environmental portraits. That is, you want to show a little bit of your environment and then you want to show the person's face as well. And here is another BTS shot of the walking distance. It's quite close to the 16mm, but you need to take a couple of steps backward to compensate for the framing. This picture was taken at 70mm, and immediately you can see that the background compression is so much better and the face is less distorted. And you can see the beautiful model we used, and Instagram links is going to be down below in the description. The background compression is so much better. The 70mm lens, it has brought the background so close to the subject, and then the bokeh is just so gorgeous and the image just looks beautiful. So if you want to take professional headshots or portrait, you want to look at something from 70 and above, because that's where it really begins to look good and look professional and with minimal distortion. The only disadvantage though is if you are shooting with 70 and higher, take a look at the BTS shot. Your walking distance increases greatly because now you have a longer focal point and then you need to shoot back to compensate for that. Moving on, this one was taken at 135mm, and like I told you, it only gets better from there. There is virtually no facial distortion and the background compression is just It's gorgeous. It's heavenly. That's beautiful, beautiful. And here is a picture showing the BTS, the walking distance from the model, and all the way to 200. This is 200, and this is like the holy grail of portraits. If you can shoot all your portrait at 200, you should do that. It's just beautiful. The background compression is awesome. The facial distortion is basically zero. The only disadvantage again is the walking distance. You can see from here, you need to move considerably back. You need to move really back to get a good frame. But if you have the space, 200 is just beautiful. And I'm actually thinking, should I make a video where I take a selfie and I do a whole vlog with the 70 to 200 all by myself? Let me know in the comment section if you would like to see something like that. 70 to 200 only vlog. That would be interesting. Let me know how many of you are interested. Now, we have spoken about headshots and portraits, but I want to also show you some pictures I took for full body shots. You are not always going to be showing portrait. Let's say you have a family shoot, or you have for graduation, or you're shooting a group of people or something like that, and you need full body shots. Let's also see how these lenses perform in those situations. This is 16 millimeters, a unique characteristic of ultra wide lenses. You will definitely get a distortion at the top and at the bottom, at the edges of the frame. Basically the middle is like the sweet spot. So unless you are like showing a beautiful scenery and then you want to put a tiny subject just in the middle, you don't want to use a 16 because you're going to get a distortion, especially if you're shooting a single person. If you're shooting a group of people, multiple people, and then you have no space to back up well, then you can do that. The good thing though is that the walking distance is you are basically close to the model, as you can see in this BTS shot. The background compression isn't really there because it's an ultra wide and it's a full body shot. But again, if you're shooting a group of people, it might come in handy because you don't have a space to back up. But for a single person, please just know the limitations. So just know your tools and know how to work with them. Moving on to 35. This focal length is like the sweet spot for taking group shots. The background compression is so much better. The walking distance is excellent. You don't need to back out so far to take a full body shot, which is really good. The distortion is not as pronounced, especially if you are taking a lot of people. Even if you're taking a single person, just know how to work with your tools to get the best image. 16 is on the extreme end. 35 is like, yeah, where it begins to get really good. 70 millimeters. Now this is tricky in the sense that the walking distance is very considerable. If you want to take full body shots and you are using a 70 millimeter lens, you're going to have to move back quite a bit, but you get better background compression and almost no distortion. 70 millimeters is not really ideal for group shots. For that, you want to go to 35, and if you're shooting a single person, is very sweet. Again, it's all a question of the walking distance. It's not the ideal focal length for full body shots, but you can get by with it. Moving on to 135, you can see that this is already extreme. You really shouldn't be using this to shoot group shots or full body portraits. If you want to do it, you can do it. Photography's actual role is about knowing the rules and breaking them. Like you can see here, if you want to do it, you can do it, and you get beautiful background compression, zero distortion. And the only issue you're going to face is walking distance. If you're outdoors, feel free, do that. But if you're indoors and in a studio, for example, you can begin to imagine how cumbersome and difficult this can be. And the same thing applies to 200. It gives you a beautiful image if you do it, but you have to have a lot of walking distance. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. If the video was useful to you, please let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. So much more coming. And if you didn't like the video as well, feel free to dislike and tell me why you didn't like it in the comment section below. Also, if you have anything you want me to discuss in the photo or video space, tips, tutorials, whatever it is, also let me know in the comment section below. The assistant that helped me with my BTS shot is a very talented photographer. His Instagram handle is going to be in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. See ya. H factor. Here are some. Yeah. So after looking at all the images, here are some takeaways. If you take our enemies of progress. Plus, I don't have a 50mm lens, so. But you just kind of, so that in case someone wants to buy for me, You can never tell. If you didn't like it, you can feel free to dislike,